running Facebook ads is one of the most effective ways to acquire new customers for your e-commerce brand. However, what I see most brands doing wrong, even 7 to 8 figure brands, is that they launch ads, they run them, and then they just look how they perform. They don't have a creative iterative cycle where they analyze exactly why the ads performed or why they didn't perform. So in this video I will show you live how I analyze Facebook ads. By the end of this tutorial you will know how to analyze your Facebook ads, derive learnings from them and make creatives that will scale your brand better and more cost efficiently. My name is William and I helped over 15 e-commerce brands to generate more than 10 million in sales with meta ad systems and performance creatives. With that having said, let's get straight into the video. So we are now live in an ad account, and here this is the example that I will use to show you how to analyze the ad creative. Now here you can see an ad creative spent about 1800, rows of almost 3 on average, looks okay. So now we want to analyze actually why it performed, how it performed, and how it can do better. Now to do that we have some very important metrics. One is the hook rate, and that is the first 3 seconds viewed divided by the impressions. We want to make sure that at least like 30% or more people get hooked, because if not enough people watch the video, then you can already forget the performance, because not many people will convert. So we want to make sure at least 30% of people get actually hooked. So now this is the case. If it wouldn't have been the case, then it would be pretty clear the bottleneck of the creative would be the hook. Now we want to go through all the micro actions that people take until the purchase, right? So first we look at the hook rate. This is the first step, and this has to be in KPI, otherwise that's the bottleneck. Now that's in KPI, 30%, we go for that. The next one is the hold rate. When people get hooked, they actually need to watch the video to the end, right? After that, they click on the video. So for that we have the CTR, the click-through rate. And after that, they get to the landing page, and then they convert. For that we have the conversion rate, and they convert with a specific AOV, and then out of that we have the purchase rows. Now the hook rate is 30% in KPI. For the hold rate we go for at least 10% hold rate. That would be in KPI. So here we can already see this is out of KPI, video hold. What does that mean? That means that less people than there usually should be on performing ads are watching the video to the end. So that's already the bottleneck of the creative. It's not the CTR, it's not the conversion rate on the website, although those also play a role, right? But we want to go in the order of the micro actions people take until the purchase. And here we can already see, okay, it's the hold rate. To actually determine, okay, why it didn't perform that well, why the hold rate was so low, we want to check where did people actually drop off. For that, the video average playtime is useful. So we look at that, 5 seconds on average. Some people watched it to the end, so most people dropped off a bit earlier than 5 seconds, right? So we look actually at the whole video creative. We check it out, and we want to check, okay, what happens here? There's usually a transition from second 4 to 5, which makes people drop off, and now let's watch it. So here we have the hook. This works fine with 30%, could be higher, but it's fine. And then we see, okay, second 4, 5 already here. So we have this text, someone walking. And then you can see here basically we have, like from here, second 4 to second 7, no new transition, and just this person walking in the code, right, with this text overlay. And this is too slow. So we can see, based on the metrics, this is too slow. People drop off at this point. So we want to make sure to make it snappier, maybe even like switch out this clip with something more engaging, with something that has more movement, with something that's more to the point. And then after 1 to 2 seconds already change the scene. This here is too long, and this is the bottleneck of the creative, right? And then we could also like continue watching it, but at this point it doesn't make any sense, because we already know where the bottleneck is. So if you want to improve that creative, or actually take it as a learning for all future creatives, we want to make sure, okay, we want to use engaging clips with more movement maybe, and also not having clips where not much is happening for too long. So usually we make a transition every 2 to 4 seconds, depending on the pace, depending on the audience of the creative. In this case, it would be already fine to do the transition at 2 seconds of that clip. And then I would guarantee the hold rate would be longer. Another thing to improve the hold rate is actually gives people something that they can look forward to. For example, if you say, here are 5 benefits, then they are more likely to retain and watch until the 5th benefit, in comparison to when they actually don't know what will be happening next and why they should watch to the end. So you want to give them a reason to watch to the end. Now we already know how we can improve this creative and iterate it. But now let's pretend the hold rate is actually fine. Let's say it's 12% and then we want to continue analyzing it. So for the unique outbound CTR, why the unique outbound? We use unique outbound because that means they don't just like or comment, but actually click on it to get on your product page or landing page. So for that, we have a KPI of 2%. This is 2.66, which is quite good. So then they get to the product page and we look at the conversion rate of this ad. And this is just 1.26%. So it's not the conversion rate of the ad directly, but the conversion rate of the traffic that got on the website through the ad. Still 1.26% is certainly not optimal. So here you actually would want to compare with the conversion rate of the website. Does Shopify show you a higher or lower conversion rate? If your conversion rate is, let's say, like 3%, but this shows 1.26%, this means that there's a mismatch between the creative and the product page on Shopify. So you want to make sure that the messaging aligns and that the expectations are set correctly. That helps improving the conversion rate of the traffic that came in through this specific creative. Now, if you check on Shopify and your conversion rate is overall like 1% or a bit higher than 1%, then you can conclude, of course, that this is actually not a creative issue, but an issue with the product page or landing page. Because to be profitable with 1%, you can do it, but it's quite hard. And then, of course, sometimes you see that all the metrics are in KPI. Let's say conversion rate would be 3%. Let's say unique outbound CTR is also above 2%. Here more than 10%, here more than 30%. Everything good. Then you might find that the CPM is actually way too high or like way higher than it usually is. So it can happen that all your metrics are in KPI, but then because of the CPM spiking, maybe because of Black Friday, maybe because of another event, it may be that your creative is still underperforming. In that case, you want to go for other angles and target other segments of your audience to check if you can find a less expensive audience. The other alternative is, of course, to further improve the hook rate, the hold rate, all creative metrics, lead even more traffic more cheaply to your website so you can convert them more profitably. And last but not least, we have also set up here the AOV. This is something you might also want to set up because you will find that the AOV of the traffic of some ads is significantly higher or lower than of other ads. This depends on the messaging and the positioning of the product. You want to learn from those creatives that have a high AOV and then use that for your messaging and all your creatives to improve them, of course. So to sum it up, you want to go through the chain of micro actions a person have to take until they can purchase your product. So first get hooked, then watch the video, then click on the ad, then go on the website, click on buy, and then actually buy. If every single step is in KPI, you will have very profitable ads. And if not, you know exactly what to improve in your new creatives and also the iterations of the current ad. Now, even after learning how to analyze Facebook ads, it still takes time to master it or to train your team. So if you want to make sure you're running Facebook ads the right way and make as much profit as humanly possible, check out the link in the description and book a free audit call with me today. Also, make sure to check out this video where I break down my 8-figure creative strategy, walk you through the key elements of it, and help you scale while reducing the NCCPA with performance creatives. Keep scaling. See you in the next one.